So you're sitting there in the middle of the farm field, surprisingly, at night time. Some people are worshipping the demigoddess Kali. They were finding someone to sacrifice. And they came to that farm field and they saw a nice, beautiful, fat person and they caught him. And they said, Devi Kali, demigoddess Kali. Very big deities were there of demigoddess Kali. And to sacrifice him, to slit his throat, they took him. First, they feed him. Bharat Maharaj ate because he was eating bote bhaiya. They brought him in front of Devi Kali. And his head was placed in the place in the middle of two woods where they were going to slit his throat. And they were chanting mantra and they picked up the machete to slit his throat, to cut his head off. In the meantime, a huge sound came. And then simultaneously, all those people saw demigoddess Kali herself manifested a form, snatched the machete from their hands, and she killed all the people who were sacrificing Bharat Maharaj. And Devi Kali apologized to Bharat Maharaj and glorified to him and said, "You are Bhagvat. These bad people, they were killing you, sacrificing you. They are stupid. That Devi is called Bhadra Kali. Not Abhadra, Bhadra. Devi herself touched the dust of lotus feet of Bharat Maharaj. And Devi Kali got back and got merged back to her deities. So, after some days, the Raghugan king, King Raghugan, was sitting in a palanquin going to hear some Harikatha. And those who were carrying the palanquin, and while going, the people who were carrying the palanquin, one of them became sick. So only the three carriers were there who were carrying the palanquin. Then they said, Maharaj, what to do now? We three cannot lift your palanquin. How to go now? That time Raghuvan king said, look, nearby there must be someone, find someone. Tell them, grab that person, bring here. This is my instruction. So this is my order. And then they found, in the same farm field, they found Bharat Maharaj was sitting in the middle. Bhagvat, Bharat Maharaj was there. And he brought him and said, let's go. This is the order of the king. This is order of the king. Come and carry the palanquin with us. Then Bharat Maharaj didn't say a word. And he lifted up the palanquin and started to walk. But Bharat Maharaj Uttam Mahabhagvat, and he saw there were some ants on the ground. So to protect the ants from being killed, so the Bharat Maharaj was carefully putting his legs here, there. So the palanquin was moving because of this. And the Raghuvan king, and if you are walking and if something is moving, your back aches or not, if your car is being driven on the broken road, then you will feel irritated or not. So it was moving like this. Then this new person does not know. The Raghuvan king said, you don't know I am king. This is my order. Walk carefully. Why are you moving like this? Bharat Maharaj didn't say a word. Then he said, oh, you did not eat anything. He's very fat, but even then he's saying you are very thin. He's joking like this. Bharat Maharaj, even then he did not say anything. That time, after some time, he said, you don't know, I am the king, I will punish you. I will punish you. He said, walk carefully. Then Bharat Maharaj, he said, first time he opened his mouth and said, oh dear king, tell me, who is the king and who are the citizens? Who is the punisher and who is being punished? Tell me. That time, the king Raghugan said, he is not an ordinary person. This is what I was going to hear. That time, Raghugan Rajan gave order to put the palanquin down. And Raghugan Rajan, humbly he sat down and asked, who are you? Who are you? Please tell me. You said very beautiful thing. That first time, Bharat Maharaj spoke a slok. To know Atma Tattva, there is only one solution. For self-realization, there is only one way. Raghuvan King, listen. By austerities, you cannot understand these things. By reading scriptures also, you cannot understand these things. Not possible by worshipping demigods either. Like everyone wakes up early in the morning and offers waters to sun, right? Many people in India do this. Even then also you won't attain these things. The only solution is you have to surrender yourself to the lotus feet of high-class exalted devotees. This is the secret. To know the spiritual things for self-realization, there is only one solution. Surrender yourselves to the saintly personalities. Like when we do Thakurji's Abhishek, right? We do Abhishek with what? With Panchamrit, the 5 things. Milk, curd, ghee, honey, sugar, ghee, Panchamrit. Like that we do Abhishek of God. Like this, you have to do your Abhishek by the dust of lotus feet of the saints. Meaning you have to surrender to the lotus feet of saints. Then we will understand. Like this, Bharat Maharaj gave very beautiful instructions and shared a lot of knowledge with the Raghuvan King. If you want to do bhajan in life, then you must know the story of Bharat Maharaj. Now, one kirtan for that katha, we will hear the katha of Bali Maharaj and Vaman Dev. And Vaman Dev will appear here also. Vaman Dev is coming or not? छोटा बड़ा बच्चा छोटा बड़ा बच्चा आप बन जाओ
वृंदावन के वृक्ष को मरण न जाने को डाल डाल काट काट के श्री राधे राधे मन चले वृंदावन अंत में एवं भगवान बामन देव आपके निकट प्रकट हो जाएंगे। बोलो बामन देव भगवान की जय। यद्यपि अनेक कथाएं हैं, किंतु तथापि समय संक्षेप होने के नाते और कथा को भी आज विराम भी देना है, इसलिए वही समय नहीं लेकर के सातवां कथा।
So the sixth canto kata, I'm going to speak in brief, and also we have to speak. I'm going to touch the Prahlad Maharaj in seventh canto. Then we're going to come to eighth canto, Vamanadeva and Bali Maharaj. So especially sixth canto speaks about the glories of Nama Sankirtan. Shri Shukadeva Goswami Pad actually starts the Bhagavatam with Nama Sankirtan, and in the middle of the Bhagavatam, he also describes the glories of the holy names. And in the 12th canto, the last canto of the Bhagavatam, he also describes the glories of the holy names. Shastra describes Ade, Madhe, Antecha, everywhere, beginning, middle, and end. Glorify Sri Hari in the beginning, middle, and end. And Nama Sankirtan. That's why in the sixth canto, which is the middle of the Bhagavatam, right? So, first canto comes in the beginning, and Satyam Parandimahi, first look of the Bhagavatam, glorifies Nama Sankirtan with this verse, Janamadasa Jataha. Holy names is being glorified, Satyam Parandimahi. And in the sixth canto is also glorifying the glories of the holy names. And in the last canto, 12th canto, also Nama Sankirtana is glorified as well, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Especially in Kali Yuga, you don't need to do anything else. Chant holy names is everything. Shri Shukadeva Goswami Pad told the beautiful story to Parikshit Maharaj explaining the glories of the holy names. Parikshit Maharaj, he asked one thing to Shukadeva. He said, oh, in the previous canto, means fifth canto, in the fifth canto you have described so many hells, the hellish planets, telling how the jivas are suffering so much in the hellish planets you've described. How these jivas will be delivered? Because the jivas are again and again performing bad activities, bad karma, so they're doing so many bad things. Tell me some way of how they can deliver. Hearing that, Shukadeva Goswami Pad told a beautiful story. He said in the ancient times, in Kanakubja Pradesh, there was a Vedic Brahmin called Ajamil, and he knew all the Vedas. He was very knowledgeable. He had knowledge of the 4 Vedas. He was also following all the rules and regulations of the scriptures. He was Sadachari. He had a pious wife, like a good wife. He used to stay in his house. He had children, and he used to take care very nicely of them. He also had old parents and served them very nicely. He used to follow all the the duties of the Brahmanas. Means to teach the Vedas, to do fire sacrifice, to give donation, take donation. Like he was doing all the Jojan Jajan, teach the Vedas, study the Vedas, perform fire sacrifice and worship God, and also teach others how to worship God, and also receive donations and give donations. These are the 6 activities of the Brahmins, and he was doing all that perfectly. One day at Jamil, he went to collect firewood to perform fire sacrifice in the jungle. He saw 2 low-class people, Shudra and Shudrani, a couple, behaving very lowly, this couple. And then seeing this couple's low behavior, his heart or mind became polluted, contaminated. Early in the morning, he went through, he continued with the fire sacrifice he was going to do, chanted the Brahma Gayatri, but still his mind was so polluted that he even stopped serving his old parents. He even gave up his chaste wife also. And he even gave up his young children, and he went to the jungle. And he started living with that Sudrani, that woman, low-class woman. And staying with that woman, his character became so degraded. his nature changed. He started stealing, he started drinking, all the bad things he started doing. Sangadosha, you know, this is the problem of the bad association. If once you fall in bad association, it's very hard to be free from that, to come out of that. Do you understand? If a jiva, someone does some bad thing or has a like addiction or some bad habit, it's really hard to come out of that. Maya is so strong, so hard to overcome Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan himself said, my Devi Maya, my divine energy Maya is so powerful. She's very powerful, Devi Maya. If once you fall into bad association, it's so hard to come out of that. That's why Shastra explains, Tato Dusanga Usraja, you must give up the bad association and always be with the devotees, Sadhu Sangha. And in this way, by the mercy of Sadhu and Guru, you can give up all the bad things. Otherwise, you cannot. Continue to the story of Ajamin. Ajamin, he was born. He took birth in a high-class Brahmin family. He used to be very pious, religious person, serving his old parents, doing all the duties of the script according to the scriptures, having a chaste wife, and having a very moral grihastha life, religious life. But because a little bit some bad association happened, his life was completely down the drain. Bad association. So he also started stealing, like slowly, being more and more criminal, doing crimes. And he had 10 kids with this Shudrani lady, this low-class lady. Gurudev translates in English as prostitute, generally. Anyway, so his life passed in this way, and now he was 84 years old. He was old. And in the time of death, his death time came, something very amazing happened. Actually, his last son's name was Narayana. His name was Narayana. Our acharyas described, actually Bhagvat didn't come to these details, but why did Ajamil give his son's name Narayana? Why? Who gave actually this name Narayana to his son? Our acharyas described that day that this prostitute wife, she gave birth to this baby, by the desire of God, a saint also spent the night next to her hut in the forest. The name of this rishi was Lomas Rishi. Lomas Rishi. So he was going here and there, this rishi, and by the desire of God, actually he spent the night next to the hut of where Ajamil used to live with this lady. Ajamil was not at home. He was not in that night because he was like stealing or doing some bad things around. And then in the night, the wife of Ajamil, means Shudrani lady, she gave birth to her last son. And early in the morning, when she woke up, she also saw there was a saint next to her hut. Women, this is the nature of the women. Whenever they see some saint, they offer respects and things like that. So the saint asked, "Oh, your son has any name?" "No, Maharaj." So the saint said, "Okay, I'll give him a name." And then Lomas Rishi gave to her son the name Narayan. Narayan. This is called Namakarana Samskar, name giving ceremony. If the sadhu give a name to her son, this is actually, so who gave the name to his last son? Lomas Rishi, he gave this name. He said, I'm giving a spiritual name to your son. The name of your son is, tell loudly. So exactly in that moment, Swasti Vachanan, He did the swastivachana blessings and gave a name to the sun. And then after that, Ajamil came and he had a very sharp knife or sharp weapon in his hand. A sadhu in my house. He was completely drunk, wasted. He had already killed so many saints. He had killed so many saints. And a saint in my house? How possible? How dare? His wife said, no, no, no. The saint, look, he just gave a beautiful name and blessings to our son. We have a newborn baby. Then Ajamil little bit became pacified, little bit. So he gave a name to our son. Which name? His wife said, look, the saint gave to our son the name Narayan. Ajamil, he was such a great sinner that he wasn't able to also speak the name, to repeat the name. His wife said, Narayana. He couldn't even repeat the name. But then Lama Sarishi said, I gave to your son the name Narayan. Then for the first time, Ajamil was able to pronounce the name of his son. And he said, oh, Narayan. Because he heard the holy names from a mouth of a pure devotee, of a saint. So this was Namakarana Samskar, name-giving ceremony. Our acharyas say that at that time that Ajamil, for the first time, took the name of his son, at that moment, immediately, all his sins were already destroyed. Destroyed at the time. There was Namabhas, semblance of the holy names. This is the glories of the holy names. After that, again and again, Ajamil was also calling his son. Narayana, come here. Narayana, go to sleep. Narayana, take prasad. Eat. So this was what? He accumulated Sukriti. By Namabhasa, semblance of holy names again and again, he accumulated Sukriti. By the fruit of that Sukriti, he got association of the sadhu. Very interesting. The Ajamil's story is so interesting. We should hear again and again the glories of the holy names. Then you're going to have faith in the holy names. And desire to chant holy names will come. This is the glories of the holy names. Anyway, coming back. So the wife of Ajamil said, oh, this Rishi, Santa Mahatma, Lama Rishi, he gave a blessing to our son, gave him a name as well. So we should give some donation to him. You should give some donation to the saints. Tell yes or no. But this time you have to agree. Even if you think no, you have to say yes. Hanji. You need to give donation. And Ajamil said, oh, donation, okay, I have already killed so many saints. I removed their sacred thread, means I killed them. So the donation I give, I'll spare him. I'll not kill him, okay? This is my donation. Anyway, okay. Lama Sarishi left from that place, went away. And then Ajamil, again and again, used to call his son, right? Narayana, Narayana. So in this way, he accumulated Sukriti. Because remember, first time he told the Narayana name, he actually spoke Namabhas, semblance of holy names. I'll talk about his life history. Actually, Ajamil, he was a sinner person. He performed so many sinful activities, but he never ever committed offense to the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. He never criticized the Vaishnava. You may chant less holy names in your life, no problem, but never ever criticize a Vaishnava. Coming back to the story. So Ajamil now was how old? I told in the beginning, 84 years old. He was laying on the bed of death. His body was so stinky, you know, like his mucus coming from his nose, all bad things coming from his body, you know, like maybe in 2-4 minutes he would die already. He was going to give his last breath. People of family even kept him aside, like, because his body was so stinky, like he was always like with feces and urine, you know. He was going to die very soon, maybe in 2-4 minutes. And then 3 Jamadutas came, 3 messengers of death. How many? 3. Because when you perform sinful activities, you perform sinful activities in 3 ways: with your body, mind, and speech. Kaya, man, bhakti. That's why 3 Jamadutas came screaming, like, "Arr!" like yelling. And then Ajamil was so afraid, who's going to protect me from these terrible people? And then Ajamil a little bit opened his eyes and he saw his son Narayan. Was a bit far. He was still a child. He was playing in the corner. And then he cried, calling out the name of his son, Narayan. Then the sound reached where? Vaikuntha. And the Simhasana, the throne of Lord Narayana, started shaking. Narayana Bhagavan himself sent his 4 Vishnu Dutas, his chakra, 4 arms. You know, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, these messengers of Vishnu, they came. And they came. And they told the Jamadutas, hey, step back. Get out. Step back. And then the Jamaduta said, why? And then Vishnu said, Jamaduta said, Ajamil is a great sinner. Our duty is to take him to Jamaloi, to hell, for being judged by Jamaraj and then to hell. But Vishnuduta said, no, he took the holy names of Bhagavan. Can you see the chakra, the Shankha chakra in our hands? Can you see the chakra in our hands? You cannot go further. If you give one step more towards the Jamal, you're going to cut your necks. Your neck. Finally, they got to know, the Jamadutas got to know that if you take the holy names of Bhagavan, even by referring to something else, Sankit. For example, Ajama, he took the name of his son, Narayana, yes. This is Sankit, like he was taking the name of God, actually referring to something else. Parihas means laughing or jokingly. For example, oh, why do you chant Krishna, Krishna all the time? So this is like jokingly you take the holy names. Parihas. Stob means, for example, when you're playing a harmonium or any instrument, you're like ra 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 ma 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 ma. You're chanting holy names. So anyhow, if you chant, Hela is when you chant without desire. For example, you're feeling pain in your back, then you complain like, oh, Ram, Ram, how much pain, Or if you feel a bad smell, and you're like, ooh, Ram, Ram, terrible smell. Or you hear something amazing like, wow, Ram, Ram, So, doesn't matter. However you chant holy names, you get benefits. Ashesha Aga means all the sins Aga. All the sins are destroyed. Doesn't matter how you chant the holy names. So Ajamil took the name of his son and all his sins were destroyed. From that day he chanted the first time Narayan. The first time he said Narayan. What did he say? Narayan. Nowadays, what is our misfortune or our bad luck? Which kind of names we give to our kids? Tell me. Haku, Baku, Chaku, D2, B2, C2, P2, Pinto, Jintu. Is this name? Chaku means actually knife in him. So if you call your son Chaku, he's gonna stab you one day. People give this kind of name. At least give a spiritual name like a name of Govinda, Radha Sundari, for example. At least you're chanting the holy names. At least 10 times a day you're calling the name of your son, right? Haji, yes or no? Haji, yes sir. So if the name of your son is Ram, which is a short name, Ram, come here, Ram, take prasad, Ram, Ram. At least 100 times per day you're taking his name. If you didn't chant the holy names in the Japamala, no problem. At least the name of your son is Ram, but the name of your son is Haku, Baku, Baku, like material, crazy names who have no meaning and terrible meaning. Haku, Baku, Chaku, Daku. Rinku, Finku, Dinku. Is this not even a name? You see our Western devotees, all of those who come, ask their names. Ask their names. What's your name? What's your name? Nitya Manjari. Look. Nitya Manjari. His name is really nice, right? At least, so Shiva Te Manjari Bhav, just by saying again and again Nitya Manjari. Such a beautiful name. The glories of holy names.
संकीर्तन परिहासम पूर्वम यदनम एववा वैकुंठ नाम ग्रहणम असिसागरम अगमन पाप
Ashish Aga means all the sins are will be destroyed
इसे
by
विष्णु
chanting
जी
holy
ने
names.
बताया
So the
बोले
Vishnudutas.
अजामिल थोड़ी अपने भगवान के नाम लेकर पुकारा
But
नारायण नाम तो
Jam Maharaj,
पुकारा।
sorry, Jamadutas were complaining. Oh, he didn't take the name of Narayan. He was taking the name of his son. But but whose name is Narayana first? The name of his son is Narayana first, or Bhagavan is Narayana first? God, because God is Narayana. He exists from unlimited time. He's eternal. So the name Narayana is coming from God, who is eternal. He doesn't have beginning or end. God is unlimited. But your son is just now. He took birth now. His life is like temporary. So this name actually belongs to whom? To Bhagavan. So you should understand that. So the Vishnudutas sent the Jamadutas away, like kick them out. Get out of here. And then later on, they told this to Jama Maharaj what happened, and Jama Maharaj told them, "You are actually so fortunate because you had the darshan of the Vishnudutas." Then Jama Maharaj told them, "Oh, hear me, my messengers. From today on, hear me out carefully where you should go or not. Open your ears and hear attentively. Open your ears with your hand like this, like stretch your ears out and hear carefully. Open your ears like very well and hear carefully where should you go or not." Jihana Bhakti, this verse explains, go to those who don't never chant holy names with their tongue. But those who chant holy names even once, never go to them. So Jam Maharaj himself told this verse. It's a Bhagvat. Jam Maharaj told. Jam Maharaj is one of amongst the 12 Mahajans. 12 Mahajanas. Jam Maharaj himself told this verse. We are the 12 Mahajanas. There are 12 Mahajanas. Jam Maharaj is saying, those who even once take the holy names, don't go to them. Jihana Bhakti Bhagavan Namadhi. Smriti. Those who think about God even once. Those who perform 10 times Ashwamedha Yagya, they have to come back to this. They have to come back to this. Krishna Praname. Krishna Praname. But if you do pranam to Krishna, you no need to come back to this world. Even if 10 times you do Ashwamedha Yagya, you know the horse fight sacrifice. But if you do pranam to Krishna once, you fold your hands to Lord and you say, "Hey Bhagavan, Krishna, I do my pranams to you. You don't need to come back to this material world. You don't need to do anything. Just fold your hands and do pranams to Bhagavan."
Krishna? So this beautiful katha Jam Maharaj told his Jamadutas. So the conversation between Vishnudutas and Jamadutas, this is called Sadhu Sangha, association of the Sangha. Because the Vishnudutas, they were telling the glories of the holy names to the Jamadutas. So that's called Sadhu Sangha, association of the Sangha, hearing Harikatha from a pure devotee. So Jamil got this opportunity. He heard this katha that the Vishnudutas told. And then later on, Ajaman came back to his body and then he went to Haridwar later. And he did bhajan and sadhan. He drank water of the Ganges. And then when again his time of death came. And then the same 4 Vishnudutas came with a chariot, transcendental chariot. And at that time, Ajamal asked, "Why you didn't take me before?" And then they said, "Because you're chanting Namabha, semblance of holy names. But now, by the influence of the Sadhu Sangha, Bhakti Devi appeared in your heart."
Bhakti Devi appeared in your heart, which is like the water of this Ganges, Ganga Jal. So now you're qualified to go to Vaikuntha. So saying this, the Vishnu Dutas, they set Jamil in a transcendental chariot and took him to Vaikuntha. Bolo Vrindavana Bihari Lal ki. So the story of a Jamil describes the glories of the holy names. Rupa Goswami described many beautiful verses, the glories of holy names, Rupa Goswami. Anyway, after glorifying a Jamil, so this is like highlight of 6th canto. Highlight of 7th canto is Nishinha Pralada Gata. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to describe Nishinha Pralada in details. I'm going to skip that for now. And I'm going to jump to the 8th canto, which is the story of Vamanadeva and Bali Maharaj. I need to finish the class right now. So beautiful. So who's the son of Hiranyakashipu? Who? Prahlad Maharaj, correct? And the son of Prahlad Maharaj was Birochan. And the son of Birochana was Bali Maharaj. So generally, we see, sometimes we think, okay, the father is a demon, but maybe the son is a devotee. It's possible. Or the devotee, for example, Prahlad is a devotee, but his son is a demon. Birochan, he was a demon, right? But his son was Bali Maharaj, who was a devotee. Guru of Bali Maharaj was Shukracharya. Bali Maharaj made so much fire sacrifice, a lot. I'm telling in brief, okay, the story. Bali Maharaj did a lot of fire sacrifice. He was going to do this also, fire sacrifice. And then Adityanandana Vamanadeva Bhagavan appeared in his fire sacrifice place. And he came and said, give me some donation. Bali Maharaj said, okay, whatever you want, what do you want? Vamanadeva said, I only want 3 pada bhumi, means 3 steps of land. I am a Nirlobi Brahmin, I don't have any greed. Because a real Brahmana should be satisfied with whatever you give him. If that Brahmana is insisting that give me more, is a Brahmana of Kali Yuga, is not a real Brahmana. Because real Brahmana should never be greedy. A real Brahmana is Nirlobi, means no greed. He doesn't have greed. He becomes happy with whatever he gets. That's a real Brahmin. He always satisfied with whatever he gets. Okay, everything is coming according to the desire of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, Vamanadeva also is a Brahmin. He said, I don't want too much. I just want 3 steps of land. 3 padabhumi. And I'm going to count, like measure with my own foot. And his foot was really small because Bhamana, he was actually very short. He was a short person. Oh, I only want 3 padabhumi, means 3 step land. And I'm going to count, measure with my own feet. And then Bhaman Maharaj left at this. But then Shukracharya, which was his guru, understood, oh, this is a cheater, Who? Who is the cheater? Vishnu, who came. He came, he's going to take all the property of my disciple. Don't give donation to him, no. He's not an ordinary boy. Actually, this Brahmana will take all your property. He's directly Vishnu himself. He has come in the form of Brahmana Deva and he's going to take everything you have. And then Bali Maharaj said, oh, this is my good fortune because that person who is the controller and the owner of everything, the whole world, came here to ask for some donation from me. I'm actually so fortunate. This is true, right? Tell yes, Ji. So, Bali Maharaj, at that time, gave up his Guru Shukracharya because the scriptures explain that when should you give up your Guru? If that Guru is evil like this, like bad person, like not of bad behavior. That Guru who has no knowledge of the scriptures. Stupid nonsense Guru. Grihavratanam Adanta Govi
Adanta Govi Kalishan.
Puna
Punah
Puna
Punascha Chorbika Charmana. Atirna Krishna Parato Satova Vito Vipatte Vidya Pratanam Padanta Govi Visatana Tavitram Punah Punascha Chorbika Charvanam. तो चबाली पुस्तकें
that person who is chewing again and again what's already chewed.
अब तब तक
Ignorant person.
गन्ने के रस निकाल दिया सारे
For example, you took all the sugarcane juice from the sugarcane and you continue chewing on that which has no juice anymore. So again and again, you're taking these material things, chewing, spitting, again, taking again. His senses are uncontrolled. He cannot himself control his own senses. How can he be a guru? What is the benefit of having a guru who has his senses uncontrolled? It's just like a blind person holding another blind person, and then both are going to fall in the ditch. So the scriptures describe. You should have proper discrimination. That guru who is actually himself actually bound by the ropes of material existence, how can he deliver other person? He's not actually a guru. Your hands are bound tight, and the other person also hands tight. Who is gonna open the knots from the other person? Someone to untie you, to free you, he must have his hands also untied and free. Then he can open the knot which is tying you. So Shukracharya, this kind of guru, was given up by Bali Maharaj. He gave him up. Still, Shukracharya didn't want to leave like Bali Maharaj. And then Vamanadeva told Bali Maharaj, yeah, you're going to give me donation, so first you should do sankalpa. Means you should promise you're going to give the donation. And by the power of his yoga, Shukracharya entered inside the Achaman pot. And then the water was not coming out, because for Achaman you need the water, right? And the water was not coming. And then Bhagavan Vamanadeva said, oh, maybe there's some grass, something there. I mean, something inside, no? Some dirt or something. And then he took a kusha grass to clean the hole, and then of the Achaman cup. And then the eye of Shukracharya was hit, and he became, and started blood coming out. And then Shukracharya ran away. Bali Maharaj said, it's my good fortune, because the Supreme Lord of all the universes, he has come to my kingdom, to my court, to beg alms. Actually, I'm not giving anything. Everything belongs to God. For example, the banana here is not mine. I didn't bring. I'm not taking away. I'm telling honestly, yes. For example, after the end of the Harikatha, whatever is here, I'm going to distribute all these fruits. So who have given? You have given. And you yourselves will take away. Won't you? Yes. All the fruits that they offer here, everything is for you, because you gave. So you take. Take the prasad, take as a prasad. Yesterday, some people say, oh Maharaj, oh, you're distributing the fruits that are offered to the Bhagavatam, but what about the money that people are giving? Why are you not offering? You should also distribute it. Yes, should distribute it. Yes, why not? Constructing temples, building temples. We build temples with these donations. Then you guys can come and sit down also. So you have to pay the bills, right? The electric bill, because the fan. Maharaj wants to give donation of a fan to your temple. Okay, very nice. How many rupees? How much is a fan? 5,000 rupees a fan, he told. Okay, how many blades, plates, I don't know, in the fan? For example, this one here on the ceiling, that three blades. Blades, you say? Anyway, parts of the fan. Okay, write the name of my son, my wife, and my name also. One in each blade. Like the 3 generations of my family, you're gonna the name of my father, my name, and my son. So you give 500, you give 300 rupees only, suppose 300 rupees the fan. And I want that the three Purush, like the three generations of my family are circling, like moving around everyone's heads. You keep on moving. Write my name of my father, and name of my son, then my three generations are always on everyone's head. Please write the names of each of us in the blade of the fan I'm gonna buy for the temple. So all the three generations of our family said, yeah, we'll continue circle, like continue moving. Who's gonna give the money to pay for the bill of the fan? So you give only 300 rupees, we put the fan on the ceiling. Okay, but who's gonna pay for the bill of the electricity of the fan? True or not? That's why I keep the money to pay for the moving of your three generations. That's why I keep the money to pay for the bill. I'm gonna move your three generations, or three Purushas, in these three generations of your family. Did you like it or not? Oh, he's laughing. He understood. He didn't understand, but he's laughing. I don't know if the translation is good or not, but he's laughing. Good or not? So the three generations of your family will be moving. You'll move like you circle, like moving, twisting. Your father and your son, everyone twisting, moving. Even your grandson also moving. How are you gonna move? Like move the fan? You have to pay for the bill, right? Otherwise. Anyway, first let's hear Bali Maharaj Katha. Shukracharya gave up his guru. So the scripture describes when should you give up guru. If the guru is not bona fide, you have to give him up. If the guru is durachari, means stupid nonsense, doing bad activities, you have to give up also that guru. So there are three moments or hypotheses why you should give up the guru in three circumstances, otherwise never. First, if the guru is stupid nonsense, means falling with women, involving himself with the women. Second, if the guru doesn't know the proper tattva siddhanta of the scriptures, for example, Mayavadi thinking we are God, everyone's God, I'm God, Aham Brahmasmi, also give up that guru. Third occasion where you should give up the guru is if the guru doesn't do bhajan himself. He's not doing bhajan, and also you should give up that guru. Javadharma Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that. Three moments where you should give up the guru. Anyway, coming back. So Bali Maharaj gave up Shukracharya. And then after that, so something I forgot to say. So when Vamanadeva Bhagavan came in the assembly of Bali Maharaj, Vamanadeva was so pretty, like so handsome, gorgeous. Seeing his beautiful form, the daughter of Bali Maharaj called Ratnamala or Ratnabali, she became so happy with seeing him. Oh, this boy is so pretty, so cute. If you would be my son, I would definitely breastfeed him, breastfeed him. And God fulfills everyone's desires. Bhagavan is like a desire tree. Vamanadeva is like a desire tree. So he said, okay, I will certainly feed from your breast. And then, coming back, when Bali Maharaj did the Achaman and said that he's going to give the donation to Vamanadeva, with one leg, 1 foot, Vamanadeva measured and took the whole earth. With the second foot, he took Swargalok, the higher planet. He took all the Swargalok also, with the second foot. And then when his second foot was going up, at that time Lord Brahmaji himself, he washed his foot and kept the water in his kamandalu, in his water pot. Later on, Sagar Maharaj, in the dynasty of Sagar Maharaj, Bhagirath Maharaj came and he asked for that water from Brahma, and then a little bit of this water came, which is Ganges River in this world, manifested by Bhagirath Maharaj. Continue. Vamanadeva asked Bali, where should I put my third And he said, Prabhu, I already gave you everything, but I haven't given myself. Please put your beautiful lotus feet on my head. At the time, Vamanadeva Bhagavan put his foot on the head of Bali Maharaj and sent him to Sutalok. Seeing that, the daughter of Bali Maharaj, called Ratnamala, or Ratnabali also, she said, oh, he took all the wealth of my father, and in the end also sent him to Sutalok, his lower planet. Then she thought, he's a cheater. Cheater, he took everything of my father. First I thought I wanted to breastfeed him, but you know what, I'm going to breastfeed him? I'm going to put poison. How could poison in my breast, and I'm going to kill this boy. And Bhagavan said, Vamanadeva, like in thought, right? Like mind, he said, oh, Ratnabala, you cannot kill me. I'm God. Certainly I will feed from your breast. This Ratnamala, in the pastime of Krishna, she came as Putana. And Krishna destroyed her body of Putana and sent him to Golok as the maid servant of Mother Jashoda. Bhagavan is so merciful. Who doesn't want to take shelter of him? So, the story of Bali Maharaj is so beautiful. The Katha of Vamanadev. So Vamanadeva will appear, will manifest or not? Vamanadev is coming. Some donation to him. Everyone give some donation to him.
जगत जनम का पूरा पूरती है सारी धरती पूरती है सारा